Eight-time Conference Coach of the Year Bob Lambert served as the Director of Track and Field and Cross Country for 14 seasons and finished his career as one of the most successful coaches in Troy history. Lambert led the Trojans to 7 men's conference titles and 1 women's conference title, while more than 300 of his student athletes earned all-conference honors. Additionally, Michael Green was named the Atlantic Sun Athlete of the Year for all sports under his watch. Among his 8 Coach of the Year awards, Lambert was named the Atlantic Sun Coach of the Year on the men's side 5 consecutive seasons, from 2001 to 2005. Troy athletes were such a dominant force in the Atlantic Sun that Trojan student athletes held 13 league records when Troy made the move to the Sun Belt. His commitment to the sport reached far past Troy's walls as he served as the Alabama High School Athletic Association track and field meet director for 11 years. He was named the AHSAA Track and Field Official of the Year, and he served on the U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Association Division I Executive Committee. A graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy, Lambert finished 5th in the javelin at the U.S. Olympic trials. He set Air Force records in the high jump and javelin before returning to the Service Academy as an assistant coach in 1974. Following his graduation in 1965, Lambert served as a commissioned officer in the Air Force for 28 years with 2 tours in Vietnam and more than 400 combat hours of flying. Following his retirement from Troy, Lambert continued his service to the university as a volunteer coach with the track and field and cross-country programs for several years.
When I walked into the Davis Field House, very small Davis Field House at the time, and I had told them I'd take the job, I walked in, I said, well, where's my office? They said, it'll be this room as soon as we get the Coke machine out of it. I put a sign in every sorority in every dorm room with a picture of my face that said, Coach Bob wants you for the Troy State Track and Field team. Come see me in Davis Field House. I have scholarships. That was in parentheses at the bottom. And by the time indoor season rolled around, we had 60 kids. All sizes, all shapes, all claimed to have run track in high school. Found out later some hadn't, but that was an interesting team. When we arrived in track and field in 1998, I had a bunch of sprinters a bunch of defensive backs from the football team, and a few distance runners. We went up to the Alabama relays in Tuscaloosa. There were 32 schools up there. We competed in the Alabama relays, and we beat the University of Alabama by 1 point for the team championship, with the University of Pittsburgh 3rd and Notre Dame 4th. That's the day we arrived at Division I track and field at Troy University. I remember Doc didn't make the trip. I called him up from the buffet I took the kids to and said, Doc, you're not going to believe this. He goes, you won the dang meet, didn't you? And I said, yeah, we did. First of all, I want to thank the Lord for bringing me here. This was in His plan that I was at Troy. My wife, Sandy, stuck with me for 25 years in the Air Force. I met her 3 years into the Air Force, and then stuck with me for 15 years coaching here, and I can't say enough. She was the glue, Harry Crook and Ken Blankenship, for being persistent and getting me down here. Dr. Hawkins gave me access to his office at times when I felt we had some issues to discuss, which was, I thought, quite remarkable. Most universities, a track coach can't walk into the chancellor's office. I had a pastor, and he'll be at the banquet, Otis Dara, Ron Soderquist, who was at the Pentagon working with Campus Crusade for Christ when I was there. He helped lead me to the Lord. Mike Davis, Sherry Johnson, and then probably my second best friend in the whole world, Don Campbell. The most singular, most influential person while I was here at Troy University was Doc Anderson. Doc was not only my mentor, he taught me everything I needed to know about coaching cross country, which I didn't have a clue about. He was a good friend, and he volunteered as my assistant coach with no pay when track season rolled around. And finally, Andy McCampbell. Andy had a profound influence on allowing us to influence the young men and women that we were blessed to coach. And I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, there's kids here tonight, if you're watching the video, that I'm so proud of. It just makes me puff up my chest from what they did with their lives once they left Troy.